Oh my god, my touchscreen actually works with my paws. This video just got a lot more scripted and a lot more organised. Hooray! How's it going, guys? My name is Arilin Thameslink and welcome to another video. Today I thought I'd talk about something that is, for me, quite a trip down memory lane, as it goes back to the days when I was a little pup and had absolutely no idea of anything or any kind of media that I was watching was getting me into what I am in today. So, today we're going to be looking at a topic that I'm sure you've seen a lot of other furry YouTubers do, which is talk about a TV show that inspired them to be the nice, trashy piece of shit that they are, including myself. But I'm going to be talking about a TV show that probably 90% of you haven't heard of, because it wasn't that it wasn't good, it was just one of the less popular TV shows at the time. Europe gets access to a lot of different media that the US culture never even sees. Of course, sometimes that's a good thing, because we get access to a lot of the video games that were too good, because we got a lot of the video games that American entertainment businesses saw that were pieces of... I really thought I was going to be able to speak legibly today. Voice exercises out the way, let's get back into it. Which is actually quite good, because thanks to America Quality Control, it was us that had to deal with all the shit video games while you got the good ones and region exclusive stuff. Because hooray for PAL. But that's not what we're going to be talking about today. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, what TV show could I be referring to? Could it possibly be Thundercats? No. Arthur? No. The Lion Guard? No. Any Lion King movie or any Disney Channel television show? And the answer would be no. This one, shut up phone! This one is a little TV show that I watched on a channel called CBBC when I was around 7 or 8 years old, I think. And it was called Animalia. Now Animalia is a television show based on a book by Graham Bass, which is probably one of the loosest terms I think I've ever heard for a based off a book title. Because Animalia, the book, is essentially an alphabetized catalogue of every known animal in the animal kingdom at the time of writing. The TV show, on the other hand, is something completely different, which I will get into now. Now, Animalia takes place in the fictional world of the same name from our two protagonists, Alex and Zoe, who stumble across Animalia after going through a portal in their local library and end up in this animal world full of animals on two legs walking across. It's almost like Zootopia, but with shittier animation. And the series chronicles their many adventures across the land with the friends that they make, and righting the wrongs and putting together the world that they live in. Now, Animalia is a city full of talking animals, and of course, humans are nowhere to be seen. Therefore, they aren't known as humans in this world, and probably known as something that I think as a human you would be rather offended by. But then again, as a fluffy animal, I am exempt from such things. Oh, it's so hot today. Oh, it's so hot. Now, as humans in the world of Animalia, they don't find themselves fitting in all that well, which leads to many shenanigans in the first episode as they try to figure out where the hell they actually are. And they may actually be in hell if any of them are allergic to the animals that live there. But while bumbling around, they come across a rather friendly character who ends up being their teacher throughout the course of the series. And that is the first character Zoe and Alex are introduced to, which is this: Livingston T. Lion. Now, Livingston is the keeper of the library which is the central core of the entire city of Animalia. And it's funny I say core, because that is what he is the keeper of. Now, the core is like the sands of time from Mortal Kombat 11. It is the thing that powers the universe, or their universe, and gives them the power and abilities that they all possess, like walking and talking, knowledge, hope, emotions. And of course, Alex and Zoe arrive at a very turbulent time in Animalia, as the core itself is suffering. It needs to be repaired. And so far, Livingston and his assistant, Rini Rhino, haven't figured out exactly how to repair it. That is where Alex and Zoe come in. Every episode starts with a conundrum, in which case... Now, and this forms the basis of the episode. Every episode begins with a certain moral conundrum or emotional conundrum that the characters are suffering from. And Alex and Zoe have befriended 2 characters at this point that become basically the comic relief and animal equivalent throughout the show, which is Gabubu the gorilla and Iggy the iguana, or the iguana, which I'm sure offends most of the audiences where that pronunciation comes from. Now, every episode, the core ejects a certain object called a core spore that lands somewhere in the land of Animalia. Now, core spores are little crystal balls that are part of the core, and once they are separate from the core, they can cause many problems in the world of Animalia, such as losing the ability to talk, only speaking in rhyme, completely losing the ability to do anything anthropomorphic. In one episode, the knowledge spore goes missing, and they all turn into feral animals, which can be some people's worst nightmare, unless you are into feral creatures as well. So the main format of the episodes involves them going to wherever the core spore is, picking it up, performing the task that goes with it, and then returning it to the core, leading them one step closer to repairing the core entirely. And of course, many life lessons are learned along the way, exercises in humility, learning restraint, and many valuable life lessons in tackling problems and making friends. And making friends is one thing that this show tries very hard to do, especially with the rich characters and mini antagonists that come along the way. Now, the 2 human characters have very distinct personalities. Alex, for instance, and it is learned that in later series he possesses some abilities that connect him to Animalia a lot more than meets the eye. He's never seen without a sketchbook, he's very intelligent and always eager to learn new things. Zoe is the sassier of the 2, always questioning authority and tackling her problems head on, which of course leads her to butting heads with the mini antagonist of the series, and whom believes he is the rightful ruler of Animalia, and of course one of the best villain names on the planet, Tyrannicus Tiger. Tyrannicus is the owner of a local business who believes that money is the way to control everybody, which isn't too bad really if you look at the political climate in the world these days. Actually, cut that out. Which isn't too bad really, considering he has his name on most of the products in Animalia, and they seem pretty okay with it. And they seem pretty okay for a tiger whose name rhymes with tyrant and has the word tyrant in it. And of course his long-suffering French fox assistant Fuchsia has to deal with him and his delusions of grandeur as he tries to interfere with the 2 humans' efforts at recovering the core spores and taking them for his own means. Life lessons are an integral part of this TV show, and what I found personally amazing every time I came home from school, whatever problem I was suffering from, turning on that show, it always did help me learn a few things along the way. It's a balance between an educational show and teaching children certain points of literature that may help them on their journey growing up. Now, the animation, as you can see here, isn't the best. It was one of those early animation TV shows back when some heart and soul still went into producing animation rather than the mass-produced garbage we see on TV nowadays, which is all about glitz and glamour and colour and very little on actual writing. The story in this show, however, has some pretty good writing. I'm starting to think whether I should do a video reviewing a couple of the episodes in a bit more detail, as a couple of them years ago did have a very profound effect on me. And the story does really well at building drama and interconnecting plot lines. It's not all self-contained episodes, they actually do connect to one another, and the characters do develop as the plot goes on. And as the core is repaired and more core spores are discovered, new problems arise as to when the core will be fixed, as the series goes on, Animalia does begin to destabilise in various other ways that cause more and more complex problems that the characters, even across a couple episodes, still can't solve. Now, the show, of course, is not just comic relief. It does balance its humour well with some really, really good writing and some very engaging plot lines. And the characters have very distinct personalities as well. Even the side characters like Melba and Medford, the mouse news on Fluttervision, are very, very good. They kind of remind me of the 2 news reporters from Zootopia in the future. Clearly a lot of heart and soul went into this programme, and it does pain me to think that it is lesser known in some countries and in America than it is over here. So I'm hoping to talk about it a little bit more in the coming future, whether I do a basic, which is whether I go beyond the basic overview that I'm doing now of the characters and the various things that I took from the show, because it did have an effect on me when I was younger. I would always look forward to Animalia when I came home from school. I didn't know why at the time, I just found it very interesting and very, very nice looking. Granted, my tastes in animation were very basic back in those days, but the writing more than made up for it. I also found Fuchsia and Tyrannicus to be two of my favourite characters, as their interactions are very, very funny. Fuchsia being the long-suffering secretary that gets all the work done, while her boss flexes in front of the mirror, tells everyone how great he is and how his public adores him. I think his catchphrase goes something like, "Ah, my public, how they love me." Something like that. If you roll the clip, I'm pretty sure my impression was flawless.
Hello, Tyrannicus, you luscious thing.
Now, for an overlooked TV show, it does display a lot of promise, and I hope, if I can gain access to some episodes, I can actually do maybe a side-by-side comparison or a more detailed review on some of the more profound episodes, because I can think of one of them where the primary antagonist of the series is introduced, because that's the thing. Tyrannicus is not the main antagonist, he's more of a thorn in the protagonist's side that doesn't really do anything particularly dangerous to interfere with their plans. It's more of just a mild annoyance that keeps cropping up, because after all, he's the contrarian to Livingston's ideology and world. He wants a fair and just land, while Tyrannicus wants to monetize it. I mean, come on, a villain that has a portrait of himself on his back wall shows that he is quite the egomaniac. It's number one on the egomaniac's toolkit, right next to having a statue of yourself and your own merchandise, which I think he has all three. I think as a part 2 to this video, I may do a review on the rhyming episode in which the main antagonist is introduced and Alex begins to discover his connection with Animalia, because the writing in that show I think is incredibly funny, particularly with the fact that they have to rhyme every single word, otherwise they will no longer be heard and they will turn to stone all the way down to the bone. I don't think my tone is the same thing as shifting rhyme, but I haven't really got the time. You see what I did there? I'm the king of comedy. Not really, I just completely suck a whole bag of dicks. But there we go, that was my pretty much blammering, yabbery overview of a show that I really do enjoy, and I'm definitely going to be doing a part 2 to this and doing a more detailed analysis, because I've always wanted to review singular episodes of things, and I think an overview sounds a lot more rambling than I would like it to be. So my next video definitely will be a review of one of the episodes I've talked about, because I would love to talk about these characters a bit more in depth. It won't be so much a reaction, because I don't really want to do a reaction video to it, and I don't want copyright to ram a giant dick so far up my arse it splits through me and destroys my channel. So I hope to do a sort of a work around that, maybe do a side-by-side, maybe have it up here and I talk about it, but I'll save that for the next video. I'm sorry for my absence, things have been quite hectic lately, but I'm planning to do more videos for you guys, and I do miss doing these. It's nice sitting in front of the camera and talking to you all. So the next time I will be doing a review of the rhyming rhyme episode of Animalia. I can't talk. Animalia, the next episode of Animalia. No, start again. The next video I'll be doing will be a full detailed review of the rhyming rhyme episode of Animalia, and I hope to go into a bit more detail about the characters that I brought up, including the main antagonist, who I believe has one of the biggest reveals that I think I've ever seen done in a children's TV show, because I did not see it coming from a mile away, and rewatching it I still wouldn't have seen it coming. It's very, very well done. So that's going to be it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. So if you liked it, please like it if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and leave a comment telling me what a piece of furry trash I am. And I hope to see you all in the next video, guys. Toodaloo!